Yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Listen, man, before we get into the meat and potatoes, you already know the hurt season has jumping out the gym like Vince, T Mac. Who else is jumping? Jordan, Kobe. They just jumping out the gym. They jumping out the gym, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Go ahead and grab your hurt seasons hat, man. I'm gonna put the link to the description. I'm gonna pin it in the comment section. It's gonna be in the description and all of that, man. Just listen, please get your hurt season hat. It's taking over the city, man. We ain't gonna wait. No cap. Listen, man. Manscaped, big Manscaped, Lawnmower 4.0, Manscaped cologne. Manscaped got everything. The razors, cutting edge technology to help grooms today. Listen, man. I've been talking about this Manscaped thing for a while. I don't partner with people who don't bring results. Manscaped bringing results. Listen, man, before she come play on the field, make sure the grass trimmed. Manscaped. Listen, man, listen. Shout out to the Philadelphia 76ers. We're going to get into a little bit of playoff basketball, before we get into this Eagles talk that I want to talk to y'all about. But shout out to the Philadelphia 76ers, man. I'm going to give my thoughts on the game. Listen, man, basketball is one of my loves as a sport as well. I'm a Philadelphia native. I know it's Lord Brunson best reporting on the Eagles, but I could talk that talk too when we talk about basketball. The first half I was worried. I was worried in the first half. I think this matchup with the Philadelphia 76ers and the Washington Wizards proves to be a more difficult matchup than a lot of people thought. Now, you are going up against two bona fide stars, two bona fide superstars. One is a mega star in Russell Westbrook. You know what he did with Oscar Robertson record this season. And the other one is a superstar, Bradley Beal. You're going against two stars who could get theirs when they want. Listen. We was off. Some of our guys who play a lesser role, whose mainly role is to come in there and step in and hit big shots, didn't hit a lot of shots. Seth Curry was off completely in the first half, didn't have a bucket. Korkmaz was off in his game as well. Matisse Thybulle didn't score. The game started off with energy from George Hill, though. I will give George Hill and Dwight Howard their credit. They did bring some veteran leadership. But when you look at the amount of playoff games that they played, you know what I mean? You would expect that from Jordan Hill and Dwight Howard and a guy like Danny Green, but Danny Green is a starter. Joel Embiid got into early foul trouble. It was looking grim for him as well. Ben Simmons had 6 points in this game. We'll get to Ben Simmons in a minute. The only reason why you won this game was because of Tobias Harris. I'm on record saying I believe Tobias Harris is better than guys like Zach LaVine it's not a shot at Zach LaVine. I think Tobias Harris brings more to the game. Zach LaVine be dropping 45s and 50s and stuff like that as well, but Tobias Harris rarely take more than 20 shots in the game, and he still be having a decent stat line like 18, 9 boards, stuff like that. You need a player like Tobias Harris when you got a star in Joel Embiid and you got another perennial all-star and Ben Simmons on the field. On the court. You need a guy like that. So I think Tobias Harris knows how to play with a winning roster, and Tobias Harris can be plugged in anywhere in any system, and it wouldn't disrupt chemistry at all. I value that more in a basketball player than somebody that can just, dunk and put up points and still be watching you while you in the playoffs. You wouldn't have won this game without Tobias Harris. Let's keep it a stack. Tobias Harris damn near had 30 at the half. I think he had 28. Tobias Harris was doing work on the offensive end. Joel Embiid was in foul trouble. He didn't wait around to see who was going to be the guy. Tobias Harris snatched it by the horns and said, I am the guy. So shout out to Tobias Harris. Then everybody else woke up after that. Tobias did a good job keeping it close. And then you insert Matisse Thybulle into the lineup, and he completely disrupts the rhythm of Westbrook and Bradley Beal at times. It's ridiculous how stifling the Philadelphia 76ers defense was with about 5 minutes to go in the game. It was turnover after steal after turnover. Those dudes' hands were being fast. Those dudes were prolific. I liked every minute of it. Matisse Thybulle needs a better role as far as minutes is concerned. I think in the playoffs, a guy like Matisse Thybulle is more valuable than Korkmaz. Matisse Thybulle will be able to, guard guys like Harden, KD, better than a lot of other people can. Now, some of these guys are just unguardable, but he'll be able to put a body on those guys. That's valuable in the playoffs because every team in the playoffs has a star that needs Matisse's attention. I think Matisse made second team all defense this year, man. The dude is the best defender on the team. When you put Matisse Thybulle and Ben Simmons on the court at the same time, Danny Green, dudes with that length, a lot of people get shut down. So you know what I mean? Matisse Thybulle came in there and disrupted the game. Joel Embiid started taking over later in the game. He finished with, I think he might have finished with 30. Ben Simmons, man, he missed every free throw. When Ben Simmons hit all his free throws, he has a triple double today. Ben Simmons missed every free throw he took. Ben Simmons was horrendous on the offensive side of the ball, but Ben Simmons is an oversized Rajon Rondo. Does what's needed to win. It's not always going to look pretty, but Ben Simmons is also very, very irreplaceable in the lineup, whether people like it or not. So the Sixers did what they were supposed to do, maintain home advantage. You know what I'm saying? Took their first home game. We already knew he was good on at home. Most likely, I'll be at the game in DC, Game 3. I look forward to seeing our guys on the road and see if we can maintain the same momentum and discipline in terms of winning. Close games like that, man. So there you have it, man. I enjoyed Game 1, watched it, chilled. Now let's get on to this Eagles talk. Listen, man. I got a question. I'm gonna pose the question. You know what? I think this is a fact. I'm gonna go on the record and say this. I think the Philadelphia Eagles have the best defensive line in the division. I think the addition of Ryan Kerrigan definitely put us over the top. I think that we have a defensive line that the rest of the NFL is going to have to focus on. And I think that, like years in the past, this defensive line will, be... this defensive line is going to be, talked about throughout the whole NFL this year. I really, really believe that. When you got the right mixture of veterans and you got the right mixture of personnel, I think you can go a number of places with a defensive line like this. Seriously. And I commend Howie Roseman for keeping the core pieces intact on a defensive line and then adding a guy like Ryan Kerrigan. I mean, give me another team in the division that has a defensive line as dangerous as ours. You know what I'm saying? This is not a rebuild, ladies and gentlemen. You got to get that out of your mind. Look at what was retained in terms of pieces. You know what I'm saying? Look at what was added. What was retained was damn near the whole defensive line. You retained Hargrave. You retained Fletch. You know what I'm saying? You retained Barnett. You should have got Barnett out of here probably. You retained BG. All them dudes' names was thrown in the pot during the course of this offseason. Then on the offensive line, you retained Kelsey. Basically said that he was going to give you another year. You retained Lane Johnson, who's been a Pro Bowler for many years in this league. As of right now, we all saw the pictures of Brandon Brooks practicing. You know what I'm saying? Retain guys like that. Then you add. Let's talk about what you added mixed with what you retained. Then you went around and you added weapons for your quarterback. You know what I'm saying? You added weapons for your quarterback instead of looking for another quarterback. So you beefed up the offensive line and added weapons for your quarterback. You beef up the offensive line and added running backs. This is not a team that's looking to rebuild. All you got to do is look at the steps, and the steps going to lead you in the right direction. Follow the steps. Don't follow the rumors. You know what I'm saying? These dudes retained, the defensive line and beefed up the secondary. This is a team that's looking ready to compete right now. I think this is going to be the best defensive line in the National Football League. I can see it. I can see this defensive line, but I can see 6 dudes with 4 sacks. I can see 6 dudes on this roster with 4 sacks. You know what I'm saying? I can see 5 dudes with 6 sacks. It could be something crazy. I can see this defensive line just taking turns eating. Everybody taking turns eating. So I like what I'm seeing, man. I don't think it's a better defensive line in the division. If it is, somebody put it in the comments. I'm pretty sure somebody is going to try to rebuttal this one. But, I think really highly of this defensive line. Kerrigan, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You don't get defensive lines like that a lot. Javon Hargrave. There's a lot of Pro Bowls in the guys' names that I'm mentioning. But like I said, man, let me know what you think in the comments, man.